we're here to teach you a thing or two about local football.
Knowledge is power, and there's simply so much to learn and discover about the beautiful game.
So join us in the next half hour as we feed your mind with everything and anything about the UFL. I'm Mariel Benitez.
I'm Paulo Buendia.
And I'm Mia Cabalfin, and this is
The United Football League, it's our game!
To say that this team is thirsting for a win is quite the understatement. 5 straight draws is not that fun. Now, can Global Smartmatic end the drought and keep their league title hopes alive? Or will Kaya Signal be the spoiler a week after toppling the top seed? Find out in our first match of the week. Two teams coming off pulsating matches that were decided in the closing minutes squared off as second-ranked Global Smartmatic took on fourth-ranked Kaya Signal. There were quite a number of changes in Global Smartmatic starting 11 as coach Frank Muescan inserted Valentine Cama, Omar Ali, Rodolfo Villanueva, and debuting Azcal William Espinosa to take the place of suspended captain Bads El Habib, Aaron Altiche, Are Ai, and Misak Bahadoran. Muescan still employed a 4-3-3 formation but shifted Izeldin El Habib to the center forward spot while Bahadoran was on the bench. Meanwhile, with Azcal Anton Del Rosario out due to an injury, Rafi Llorente took his spot as a center-back, while captain Ali Borromeo moved up top to complete coach Mikey Carrion's 4-4-2 formation. Azcal captain Borromeo was awarded a free kick early on in the 9th minute, but he botched his attempt as it went straight into the wall. In the 20th minute, Global got real close to going ahead as former Azcal Jerry Barbaso got the ball to Izo El Habib before new recruit Will Espinosa's header was saved by Kaya keeper Saba. Borromeo got another chance in the 24th minute, but his right-footed shot went straight into the hands of the waiting Kenneth Dolioso. Espinosa continued to impress as he was responsible for a pair of golden opportunities in the closing minutes of the first half, but Global was unable to capitalize as the half ended at 0-0. The rain started coming down at the start of the second half, but both sides were still experiencing scoring droughts. Kaya continued to have the chances, but Eric Dagro goes wide left in the 74th minute, while Borromeo fails to connect after Armand Del Rosario's free kick 5 minutes later. Global seemed headed for its 6th straight draw as regulation time was about to end. However, Espinosa's low kick along the muddy pitch went straight to Saba, who was unable to control the slippery ball. The Kaya keeper paid dearly as a waiting Aaron Altiche was at the right place at the right time, and Global stole the victory 1-0. Dan Palami's squad was back in the hunt for the league title. For being a constant threat on offense and setting up the winning goal, William Espinosa marks his debut by being named the man of the match.
Yeah, because the guys, they help me, you know, they help me because before the Azcal training begins, I practice 2-3 times with them, and good guys, so I don't need more time to play.
I think all in all, it was a game that was as anticipated between one of the two best teams in the league right now. So I'm happy Kaya was there all the time until the last minute, and we were there as well. It was one of the lucky things that happened. Went through the defenders and the keeper, and the player was there to bounce on the ball. But all in all, I think it gives us a chance to be on top of the group, but nevertheless, we have much work to do.
Let's break down the winning team's formula for success in our match analysis.
Kaya Signal FC tries to sustain its resurgence as they take on second-place Global Smartmatic. Fresh off a stunning victory over league leaders Air Force Rider, Kaya again used ASCAL skipper Ali Borromeo up top as they missed the services of Anton Del Rosario, who was hospitalized with an infection. Both squads started the match going back and forth, with neither side holding onto the ball for long durations. ASCAL Gidenon Espinosa showcased his blazing speed on the flank and was a constant threat throughout the game. The battle was fought in midfield, with Anto Gonzalez tasked to contain Global's attack. It was a scrappy affair that produced yellow cards for both sides. There was a distinct lack of finishing touch early on, with attempts from both teams either going over or going straight at the keeper. Only Espinosa's glancing header from an Izu cross produced a glorious save from Saba Sadeghi. The half ends 0-0. The rain made it more difficult to play as puddles of water spread unevenly across the field. Although the game settles, neither side dominated possession. The entrance of Guzmas, Misak Bahadoran, and Aaron Altiche proved to be the difference, as the reigning cup champions showed the depth in their squad. Their presence provided an added dimension to the already dangerous attack of Izu and Espinosa. The increase in offensive pressure paid off as man of the match Espinosa's slow drive was parried away by Saba into the path of the onrushing Aaron Altiche. It ended up as a game-winning goal, and the match ended 1-0 to Global Smartmatic.
Up ahead, get to meet this young ASCAL who plays for Kaya Signal.
Good to have you back. The UFL is home to the country's up-and-coming football stars. Now, one of the promising players also happens to suit up for one of the popular clubs. Let's get to meet this football cutie in our player profile.
I'm Tating Pasilan. I played striker and right wing from Green Archers United. I started playing football when I was grade school, grade 3. Greatest achievement in playing football when I play national team. I'm also a former ASCAL. I played Challenge Cup 2008 in Iloilo and also Suzuki Cup in Cambodia. Yung pinaka ko talaga mahirap yung we played against Global. He tackled me from behind, yung pumutok yung head ko. That's the first time na may dugo talaga yung ulo ko. Yun yung first ko talaga. Siyempre, before we start ako prayer together with my teammates. And yun, to be safe lang during sa laro. Please always support UFL and also the Green Archers United Club.
Coming up, can Army Fritz and Maxiol IBM avenge their embarrassing 4-0 first-round setback to Air Force Rider? Stay tuned.
comeback. Their first round encounter turned out to be a lopsided victory for the defending champions. Will things change in the second round? Or will Air Force Rider repeat and put the top spot out of reach? Or will Army Fritz and Maxwell employ a new battle plan to avenge their only loss in this campaign? Check this out.
With the Global Smartmatic winning the earlier match, Air Force Rider was hard-pressed to bounce back from its only loss in its last assignment to remain in first place. However, standing in the way of the Airmen was fellow AFP squad Army Fritz and Maxwell, which was eager to avenge an embarrassing 4-0 setback to their counterparts in the first round. With Azcal Ian Araneta still not 100% with his groin injury, Coach Edwin Cabalida inserted Raymark Palmes next to Yanti Barsales up front, while Willie Subere filled in for Mark Ferrer as the central midfielder. Although they suffered their lone defeat the previous week, Cabalida stuck with his usual 4-4-2 formation against Army. Meanwhile, with Azcal reserve keeper Ed Sacapanya still out and Victor Troyo allowing 3 goals in an aborted match, third-string keeper Joshua Singson was thrust into the starting role. With usual striker Luisito Brillantes serving a suspension, Meliton Pelayo moved up to team up with Azcal Roel Hener in the team's 4-4-2 formation. Air Force needed just 13 minutes to seize the upper hand as wily Chiefy Caligdong fakes off his defender before launching a cross that finds Raymark Palmes for a header that he converts for a goal. Army had a chance to equalize shortly thereafter, but Meliton Pelayo and Jeffrey Lobaton would fall short of tying the match. Defying Father Time, 38-year-old national team veteran Yanti Barsales breaks away from his Army defenders to make it 2-0 in the 24th minute. In the 30th minute, Caligdong toyed with his defenders before finishing it off with a solo incursion as Air Force soared to a 3-0 lead. Already staring at a large deficit, Army suffered a big blow as Azcal Roel Hener took out his frustration on Herbert Bayona and was sent off in the 32nd minute. Air Force could have padded the score, but Army managed to survive the remaining minutes without conceding another goal, but dug itself a big 3-0 hole heading into halftime. The second half started with Pelayo managing to get a shot off, but he was denied as it went straight into a waiting Ed Mercado. The offensive onslaught continued for Air Force, specifically for Caligdong as he fired a looping shot that made it 4-0 in the 56th minute. Fate was simply cruel to Army as it could have finally scored, but a shot in the 72nd minute hit the crossbar. Air Force simply showed no mercy as it scored 2 more goals, care of Randy Belaong in the 82nd minute and substitute Aubrey Amatorio in the 90th minute to make it 6-0 for the defending champions. For scoring a brace, Air Force's Emilio Chiefy Caligdong is the overwhelming pick for man of the match.
Kailangan namin ng good result, di ba? Yun yung pinaka-importante sa lahat. So, siguro, yung mga chances namin na yung 6 goals, talagang, parang yung preparation namin na itong game na to, kailangan namin manalo para next game namin si Global. So last game namin, kailangan rin namin manalo. So hindi pa rin namin inaano yung Global na nanalo kami sa Army. So kailangan namin ng every game manalo.
Bilog pa yung bola, may 2 games pa sila. 6 points lang yung lamang namin. At medyo lamang kami sa goal difference. Hindi natin masabi. Depende, may 2 game pa sila. Yung isang game nila. Pag nag-draw sila doon sa isang game nila, kami na siguro yung magiging champion.
How did this AFP squad escape with this all-important victory? Watch and learn as we unlock the winning code.
Air Force Rider tightens their grip on the title as they annihilate fellow AFP squad Army Fritz and Maxiol IBM 6-0. It was a dominating performance all throughout, with Ascal's Chifi Caligdong and Yanti Barsales running rampant for the defending league champions. Army had their chances early on, with Melaton Pelayo and Ascal Nestorio Margarce having their own attempts on goal. It was after Barsales' superb goal that the floodgates opened, as Air Force took control of the match, never letting up. Wave after wave of offensive pressure proved too much for Army to handle. The first half ended 3-0. With Army going down to 10 men, courtesy of Ascal Roel Hener's blatant red card foul, the match was effectively out of reach. Man of the match, Chifi Caligdong's performance was amazing with his quick bursts of speed and dizzying runs. He was at the heart of the Air Force attack. During this time, the Air Force offense was clicking on all aspects, their passing and teamwork simply overpowering the Army defense. Army goalkeeper Joshua Singson did not help their situation as he was caught in no man's land time and time again. He acted like a sweeper, trying to get to every through ball, but his timing was off and left his line too often. The last 3 goals scored by Air Force could be credited to his errors, as his erratic play caused too many gaps that were exploited to the fullest. Air Force runs away with a 6-0 victory.
This postponed match finally takes place when we return from this short break.
A heavy downpour and potential lightning caused this match to be rescheduled after almost a half had been played and one side was already up 3-0. Now can the Loyola Meralco Sparks repeat their quick start, or will Army Fritz and Maxiol IBM cause a power interruption this time around? Find out in our final match of the week. Torrential rain interrupted Army Fritz and Maxiol IBM and Loyola Meralco Sparks' second round match last May 18. With Loyola up 3-0 after 19 minutes, the match was called off due to inclement weather. With the slate wiped clean, the two sides again met up a week later to settle matters once and for all. The start of the first half saw the two squads exchange attempts on goal. It was Army who broke the scoreless deadlock as striker Luisito Brillantes put his team ahead in the 16th minute. Loyola keeper Jerwin Belina pulled off a save in the 27th minute to deny Army from doubling its lead. However, nobody could stop Army striker Romano Vestal a minute later as he gave Army the 2-0 advantage in the 28th minute. Loyola tried to cut the lead with this attempt by Power Valeroso in the 43rd minute. The half ends with Army up 2-0. Things barely got settled in the second half when Army midfielder Meliton Pelayo finds Vestal in the 62nd minute. Vestal secures a brace and the 3-0 lead for Army. Trailing by 3 goals and suffering a reversal of fortune, Loyola had a viable opportunity in the 79th minute, but the attempt goes wide. The Sparks were awarded a penalty in extra time, but even that did not go Loyola's way. With the saved penalty kick, Army consolidates its 3-0 advantage for the victory.
Salamat din ako sa teammate namin, sir. Nagawa ko yung goal score. Adjust kami konti kasi medyo para iniba namin yung set play. One touch, two touch kami, one pass, and then open.
Strategy-wise na lang yun. Yung mga defense ko, ginawa ko ng wing. Yung forward ko, nag-rumble ako ng player. Kailangan pa rin namin go for win para go for third pa rin.
Now let's probe and examine the match you just witnessed in our match analysis.
The tables were turned for the replay as Army Fritz and Maxwell IBM beats Loyola Miracle Sparks with a score of 3-0. With both sides missing key players, Army was able to impose their game plan early on and threaten the Loyola goal. Loyola did not have a spark in their game, and it showed. They lacked quality in their passes and commitment on defense, which proved to be their downfall. Luisito Brillantes opened up the scoring after a mix-up in the defense gifted him the ball. Army never looked back. Loyola's case was not helped by giving away the ball repeatedly, which was another recurring theme throughout the game for them. Another goal by Army before the half showed their superiority while going forward, 2-0 at the half. Loyola started the second half strong with 2 attempts on goal. Their passing improved, but the cutting edge in front of goal was not there. Man of the match Romano Vestal killed off the encounter with his second goal, and Army's third. His goal came from excellent teamwork and horrible man marking by Loyola. Eventually, they started to wake up near the end of the match, but it was too little, too late. Some good scoring chances and late offensive pressure did not produce any results. Army Fritz and Maxwell IBM made sure that Loyola would not repeat the 3-0 scoreline against them in the suspended match a week earlier. With third place almost certain, Army ends the match 3-0.
Well, the final whistle has sounded and we've reached full time.
For more on the UFL, you can follow the league on Twitter at UFL Philippines or visit footballalliance.ph or like the LBC United Football League page on Facebook.
And don't forget to come to the University of Makati tomorrow. That's June 5, Sunday, as the UFL selection takes on the Azkals. Don't miss that. I'm Mia Cabaltin.
I'm Paulo Buendia.
And I'm Mariel Benitez. And this has been
the United Football League. It's our game.